This is the Little Moments Count radio podcast, created in partnership with community radio stations throughout Minnesota. Each episode, you'll hear interviews with early childhood experts on how to support the important brain development that takes place in the first 1,000 days of life, just through little moments every day. Learn more at littlemomentscount.org/podcast.
Now, this episode of this afternoon's drive is presented in partnership with Little Moments Count. Little Moments Count is a statewide collaborative focusing on helping parents and caregivers learn about the importance of brain development in the first 3 years of life. Nearly 80% of brain growth happens in the first 1,000 days of a small moments and when it comes to interaction of the youngsters and the youth. Now, even beyond that, when it comes to talking, playing, reading, and singing, it helps to create that pathway that builds the brains during the early age of life. Now, also on top of that, if you like more information, you like to visit littlemomentscount.org. And on the phone line, I got Arielle. Arielle, and I'd like to say good afternoon to you for starters. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you, Cuba?
About 6'3", chilling. There's no question about it. And then
I love it.
For the listening audience, give us a little bit about yourself, because I know that you're the director of early childhood when it comes to Northside Achievement Zone, but talk a little bit about it so that way they know what you do over that way.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm at the Northside Achievement Zone, otherwise known as NAZ, and I am all things early childhood. So we have supports for scholars before they're even born. So starting prenatally, we have working with some doulas in the community, and then we really support parents to support their scholars transition to kindergarten and beyond. And my work really involves all of that. And, you know, myself, I have 4 scholars in my home, and 2 of them are littles. They're in this early childhood stage of their life. So really working it at NAZ and living it at home.
So for the listening audience, what are some ways that parents can pass on the family tradition when it comes to engaging with their young child?
Yeah, I find family traditions really important, and that's something I was thinking about this past weekend. What things do I want my scholars to think about? What do I want my children to think about at home when they're raising their own children, and how can that really support their development? And, you know, I know at my house we have a very specific hum, a little hum kind of song that we do with our kids when they're tired, and I know I didn't come up with that. That was something that my grandma did with me, that my mom did with me, and it's just become really important. And it's actually a way that I know when my kids are tired, they start humming to me. So I'm curious, Cuba, you have any family traditions that have been passed down that you can think of?
Mine has always been getting into that backside of kitchen and doing, you know, the kitchen and cooking and that side of it, and also getting in the grill, because my mom was a chef, my father was a chef, and also they both were the greatest at grilling. But then also besides that inside tradition of family and just getting out in the neighborhood, in the community, but then taking, you know, small mini trips and just being out there and having a good time. So, you know, all of those things make a big difference.
They do make a big difference. And, you know, the other thing I've been thinking about is, you know, there's some family traditions that I don't want to keep going with my family. I might change some things, and that's okay too. So, you know, we have something in my house where we talk about at dinner, we talk about our high of the day, our low of the day, and our unexpected. What things did we not expect to happen? And really, in the context of just talking with my kids, I learn a lot, and we're really, you know, embracing those little moments and trying to just help with their brain development. We know it matters so much. So I know that there's certain things that my family did that I love and I want to keep, and then there's other things that I want to change for my family and the ways we do things. And I think, you know, we have the power to do that too. So it's an exciting opportunity to think about family traditions and how we can really shape our young children's development.
So when it comes to the lineup of importance, why is it so important to read, sing, and talk to your child? You know, where does that line up when it comes to that development side?
Absolutely. I think a lot about this and how we're building relationships with our kids. And it is really important for their development to have that relationship with trusting adults. They want to learn how to trust people. They also want to learn a lot about routines and consistency and the ways in which they can take those skills and go into the school system and be able to be successful. So, all of this development is happening in relationship, and it's happening through things like playing, reading, singing, talking, those things that we do every day with our children. And sometimes the traditions help with that. The tradition I talked about with my grandma is really about singing. There's, certain stories that have been told from my grandparents and passed down to my children, and those go generation to generation. They really help with the development of the child's brain. So it's just all so interconnected.
Now, when it comes to a lineup of resources, when it comes to parenting, how can someone find out more information about that and engaging with their children when it comes to getting ready for kindergarten? Because one of the things is when you're looking at parenting, not everybody is a parent. We may have little youngsters, but we don't understand the parenting side of it. So is there some resources or some things that we can work at in order to make it happen?
Yeah, absolutely. I think first and foremost, if you're over on the north side, looking at Northside Achievement Zone as a place, a resource for you, we have parenting classes through our Family Academy. We have our NAS coaches that are there to walk side by side with you in this process. It's not easy, and, having a support system is really important, and NAS can be a part of that. And as far as the kindergarten piece goes, NAS has a early childhood toolkit that really helps parents think about these activities that they're doing and how they support the pieces of brain development around talking, playing, singing, and reading. So, visiting northsideachievement.org and getting more information there. And, of course, Little Moments Count has wonderful resources as well. So that would be my advice to any parents out there that are looking for more support. Reach out. NAS is here for you.
Okay. Now, if there's anyone out there that's listening at this moment, I'm going to let you know at this moment that you can listen to a re-recording of this particular Little Moments Count by checking in to littlemomentscount.org/podcast. And also you can lock it in at Little Moments Count if you want to go to the website at littlemomentscount.org. If by chance I missed a question or two, is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, this was perfect. Thank you. And I just want to say, parents, you're doing a good job. I know it's not easy, and I hope you're finding ways to take care of yourself, too.
Okay, and can you give a number or some information and a name so that if someone's listening and they like to get in contact with you, how can they do that?
Yeah, absolutely. My name's Arielle Handevidt, and if they go to northsideachievement.org, they'll be able to see all of our contact information on there and reach out. We're available.
All right. Well, I want you to have a beautiful day, okay?
Thank you.
No doubt, no doubt. And again, ladies and gentlemen, if you like more information or if you like to lock into that podcast, it's littlemomentscount.org/podcast. And then even beyond that, you can go to the website at littlemomentscount.org.
Thanks for listening to the Little Moments Count radio podcast in partnership with community radio stations throughout Minnesota. You can find the Little Moments Count radio podcast wherever you get your podcasts and at littlemomentscount.org/podcast.